Relays are the cornerstone of machine controls, motor controls, and just automation in general. And today I'm going to teach you how they work, why we need them, and I'm going to teach you how to troubleshoot like a technician.
How? So these are all relays. And this one here is a big version of a relay that's actually made for demonstrations. And we're going to talk about how it works. So it's pretty simple. You got two different types of circuits in here. Over here, this is your coil circuit. And this over here, these are your contacts. Now I want you to think of your contacts like a light switch. Let's say that you got 120 volts coming in and it's attached to this big piece of metal here, and attached to this guy is a wire going to a lamp that you want to turn on. So if this were a light switch, it'd be off right now, then you go like that and you're turning the switch on. So that's open circuit, closed circuit. But with a relay, instead of using your hand to switch the set of contacts, we're going to use this coil, aka electromagnet. So I got a 9-volt signal, I send power to the coil, and it switches our set of contacts and turns on our lamp. So again, coil, magnet circuit, on this, in this case 9 volts, you energize your magnet and you're closing the switch and sending power on a totally separate circuit to a device such as a lamp.
Why?
All right, guys, I showed you how they work, but now let's talk about why. Why do we need relays? And I'll start by talking about a car. So every car has a little industrial computer. It's a little circuit board inside of it. It's called the car's ECU. And the way that that ECU works is it basically just makes decisions for the car. For example, the thermostat gets a little bit warm. It sends a signal to the ECU, and the ECU sends power out and turns on the fans. Those ECUs have little pins on them that either receive or send out voltage and current, power. Let's say you want to turn on the radiator fan on your car. So the ECU is going to send power out of one of its pins down a wire, and it's going to turn on a relay, and that relay is going to turn on the fan. Wait a second, we're already sending power out of the car's computer. Why can't we just turn on the fan with that power? And there's two reasons for that. The most important one is current. So the way that current works is it's amperage or current, and that's what generates heat. So when you have high current, you need to use thick wires, robust electronics, and the bigger the load, the more power you're using, the more current you need. These radiator fans on this car, they use a lot of current. They might use 2 or 5 amps of current to run that motor to run those fans. And because the current or the amps generates heat, if you ran that current through the car's computer, through that circuit board, through those little pins, you're going to have a melted computer. So we send a very small amount of current out of the car's computer, and that energizes the coil on the relay. It pulls in the magnet, and then a separate circuit goes through the contacts on the relay, and those relay contacts are made with thicker pieces of metal. They can handle more heat, more current. So we turn on the coil to the relay, and then a separate circuit powers the fan. And the other thing that we need, we can use different voltages on different sets of contacts. A lot of times our machines will have different devices that operate at different voltages. For example, this little automation line that I built, I have a 120 volt disc feeder and a 24 volt motor for my conveyor. So because I'm using relays, I can attach 120 volts to one set of relay contacts and 24 volts to another set of relay contacts. And if I really want to turn on the disc feeder and the motor at the same time, I can use one relay, send 24 volts to that relay coil, and I can turn on a 120 volt motor and a 24 volt motor at the exact same time. Some of your relay contacts are normally open, meaning it's an open or off circuit, and then when you energize the coil, it's going to send power to your device. Some of your contacts are normally closed, meaning before you energize the relay, it's a closed or powered circuit. And then when you energize the coil, it's going to open up or turn off. If you look at this relay, you can see pretty clearly the coil is 120 volts AC, and they go on pin 13 and 14. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple pull, double throw. So you put one of your circuits on wire number 9, And if you wire something from 9 to 1, it's normally closed, meaning before you energize the magnet, 9 and 1 are going to be a closed circuit, or that's going to be on. And then if we trigger our coil, this little guy is going to go over here, and then 9 and 5 are going to become energized. So 9 to 5 is a normally open circuit, and 9 to 1 is a normally closed circuit. Now, I know that's a lot of theory, but in this next segment of the video, basically, I'm going to demonstrate how to test a relay. I'm going to show you guys some circuits, and I'm going to show you some cool tricks with relays, such as a seal-in circuit, and I'll just give you an idea of how relays are used out in the real world. Should be noted that not all relays have a magnetic coil. There is such thing as a solid state relay, but for the simplicity of this video, we're not really going to talk about that much. I'm going to show you guys some quick tips on how you can diagnose if a relay is working properly. If you energize this relay, you should see a voltage drop over the coil. And with these mechanical relays, you can actually just see them switching, and a lot of them do have visual indicators when they turn on. These contacts inside this relay can become corroded, and you can actually see them right there. And there's your magnet. So when that magnet sucks in, it'll change the state of this little switch here. And sometimes you get water in them or they get corroded. So you can actually pull out your multimeter and verify that these contacts are making. I would just set my multimeter to ohms. You can measure terminal 9 to terminal 1. And the same way, I could measure terminal 9 to terminal 5 and see that we have an open circuit. And then if I energize that coil, that would become a very low resistance. That's how you can test your relays.
Now I'm going to show you guys how you can use a relay paired with a push button to not only turn something on, but to turn it on and keep it on.
Let's say you have a 24 volts coming in to a relay. So there's your relay coil. And then you can have, let's say, a little push button here, a momentary push button. So when you push that button, relay 1 is going to turn on. But when you let go of this push button, relay 1 is going to turn off. So what you can do is you can wire a set of normally open contacts in this CR1 relay. So when you push that button, that power is actually going to flow through a set of contacts, and it's going to hold this circuit on until you interrupt the circuit, maybe, I don't know, let's say a normally closed stop button. So that's something cool you can do with relays, is use them to hold themselves on, holding circuit or seal-in circuit. If you get a good understanding of how relays operate, that really opens your mind to how machines work. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Just a basic level, just an introduction to relays, a little bit of information. If you find this stuff interesting, look into controls or engineering as a career. Thanks for checking out the channel, guys, and like and subscribe. Thank you.